Okay. Hello and welcome to a new episode 8, I think, of Let's Talk About the Football from last weekend. It's great to be here. Looking forward to discussing the previous weekend's football with you guys. The international break. Some people don't like the international break. Me, big fan. Football in any guise. For me, guys, is just, big fan of football, basically. One thing that I would like to get off my chest before we do start today is to tell you guys that Ryan is no longer a member of the Let's Talk About the Football from last weekend team. Ryan, as you may be aware, was one of the interns here. And after the podcast last weekend with Daniel Bedingfield from Lion Aid, I listened back to it and I've got to say that was a hit job. Ryan, you're gone. You made me sound like an absolute idiot in front of everyone, and I don't know what your motive was, and I'm really disappointed. I'm not going to be taking legal action because I've not got time to find out how you do that, but I just think so many red flags along the way. There was you coming into work with COVID, which is a no-no, and just general sloppiness. So I'm hoping we can put that behind us and move on with much better content for you guys. Just a word on the Lion Aid segment, if you haven't heard it. It's where we discuss the best dressed football managers in the Premier League, and it was, despite, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend anyone listen to it. It was enjoyable talking about the best dressed football managers with Daniel, but there was a beep in there. He couldn't get it out, and he just made me sound like I was on drugs, which, again, you're not going to work again, Ryan. So, fuck off. Right. Okay. So, I'm joined this week by Football Man. You may remember him from last week's episode and all the previous episodes. Martin Hudson. Martin, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. I'm going to keep my counsel over the Ryan issue. There's a few issues there that I sort of need to tiptoe around.
I forgot to say as well, so I think Ryan's been he's hacked my emails because he's been, some emails have come from me that I definitely didn't send. I was awake at the time, but I have no memory of sending them. I say it definitely wasn't me. It might have been me, but I have no memory of it. And yeah, I'll be changing my PIN on all my devices from now on. You need to watch out for that guy, Martin, because he is a snake.
The plot thickens, doesn't it? But listen, he's the past. Let's look to the future. And actually, while there's less football on this week, I thought it was a good opportunity to play a clip from the pilot that I'm making for the sitcom that we spoke about last week.
Right, this is the sitcom about white people behaving awkwardly in front of black people.
That's right, yeah. And well, it's got a title now. Actually, it's called "White People in Lines Queuing for Pies." And well, Ryan, roll VT. Shit. Sorry. Press play.
Look, I just want to say, having you on board of this proposal, we really need somebody like you.
Somebody like me?
Yeah, I mean, somebody with wider appeal. I mean, that is to say, because obviously you're unique.
Unique?
Unique in what you bring to the company.
Which is
you bloody great. Just be you, Leroy, okay? Hell yeah. Now get your ass in there and get to work. or don't. I mean, do work because, I'm your boss. But don't think of me as your boss or indeed as better than you because I'm not. But do the work because it does need doing.
Yeah, and I should just say, Justin there, who plays Leroy, he's such a great actor. I really think he's the next big name to come out of the acting world. Well, you can probably tell just from that scene.
Not really, because he only says about 5 words.
No, I know, but you can feel his presence, can't you?
He's from the call centre, I presume?
Yeah, he does the graveyard shift with me.
Still doing overtime?
Yes, but I should add that Humour Syndicate have pledged to help fund the series should they approve the pilot.
Now, I don't know if you were being sly, I don't know if you were being clever, or trying to be clever, but you did say Ryan play VT. What was that all about?
Force of habit. Please do not read anything into that.
You're not gaslighting me.
No.
No, I said you're not gaslighting me. It wasn't a question. I said you're not gaslighting me. Because honestly, I've had it up to here. I've had it up to here this week.
I tell you who is gaslighting you, that bloody Lionade.
Still on the Lionade, but not as much. And as I said, I've been sleeping a little bit better and going to bed with... It's been taking up a lot of my time, actually, because I've had to download from the BBC iPlayer episodes of Match of the Day that Joe Hart's in, and then kind of just download the whole file, ungroup it, remove the video, and then find the audio bit, and then just cut it up, and then I've got about 15 hours worth of the stuff now, so that's doing a good thing. But yeah, in general, there's only so much liquid one can imbibe day to day. Okay, so the weekend kicked off with Northern Ireland against Switzerland. Northern 1, Switzerland 1.
We talk about only one place to start. This is not one place to start because I have to admit it is the one game of the Home Nations qualifiers that I did not see, and I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to pass it back to you. Maybe you'd like to do the analysis on this one.
The thing is, I gave that guy a decent job. Now, you said you were paying him. He said later on that you weren't paying him, and you said that you were. I gave him a job, and he made me look like a right tit. And I'm trying to let that go. I was talking to a therapist today, and he said, think of today, not tomorrow. And I said, well, what if today you've been stabbed? And he said, well, go to the hospital. Which made sense at the time, but now I'm thinking about it, it doesn't really make too much sense. But the point is, I will not have that kind of... I will not have a stitch-up like that on me again. Because I'm putting a lot of my time, a lot of my effort, and a lot of money into this, into supplying people with good football knowledge so that then they can go to work the next day, they can pass off our opinions as their own, and they can feel good about themselves. I'm not doing this to be chastised and made to look like a fucking twat, right? And I've kept really quiet on this, right? But I tell you, I'm not having this anymore. Right. Republic of Ireland 2, Bulgaria 1.
I'm glad that Ireland won this match. If only for Gary Doherty's goal, because the Bulgarian goalkeeper flew out at Doherty like Harold Schumacher. He's tried to decapitate him, but Doherty kept his eye on the ball.
Michael Schumacher.
Headed it cleanly in the net. And the embarrassed goalkeeper, Diolgarov is his name, he tried it on, didn't he? He lay on the floor like a rodent in a mouse trap, i.e. a mouse. And even his teammates were saying, Da Taiba Maikata, which is far too rude to translate. Any guesses?
Cunt.
I mean, it's... Well, that's even stronger. If people want... I mean, it may not be the best pronunciation. Maybe I should put that down in the summary and people can look for it themselves. A little Easter egg, as you might say.
And we're coming up to Easter.
There you go.
What I like about Republic of Ireland is when you look at the scores sometimes, it says ROI. And I think that's quite nice. That's like what's the word? Acronym, that's it.
But what does it mean? No one knows.
ROI. Wales 3, Kazakhstan 1.
Look, Craig Bellamy's spoken about playing better football. And I don't dislike Craig Bellamy. He's a character. But he does remind me of one of those footballers, and there have been plenty of late, Joey Barton, Stan Collymore, et al., who wants to be seen as an intellect, but really isn't. You know, you can tell he's trying to avoid cliches. You can see in his eyes he's scanning and standing over the production line of words his brain's producing. And you end up with this very slow and deliberate string of consciousness waffle, really. And I, for one, prefer the Gaza way of just letting it hang out naturally, because you get more honesty that way.
Like when I asked that big chap if he had any coke.
Well, that was very much an off-guard moment, but I think the problem with Bellamy is that he knows he's on record.
And you wouldn't want to ring his bell. Okay. Friday night saw the first game of the Tommy Tuchel era. England took on Albania, and it was a little bit of a drab affair. Big Dan Burn at the back, like a giant amongst men, or certainly someone a lot taller than other chaps. England 2, Albania 0. England 2. Is this a scoreline that people will remember?
Harry Kane, he's going to get all the headlines, isn't he? And I get that. He's England's main man. You know, he finds the webbed net, or the net, more often than any other England striker in history, actually. But I'm going to put a name forward here. The Arsenal kid, the left-back. Let's give him a few column inches, because he could be the answer to England's left-back problem for years to come. Look, it was a typical England international. And I just wonder why, you keep seeing these paper aeroplanes flying onto the pitch from the stands. What I want to know is, why do they keep handing them out? Stop supplying the fans with them and they'll stop flying them. But other than that, the manager, Tuchel, he was honest with his assessment. It was shit. And he didn't say that in as many words, but it was written on his face for sure.
I tell you, the only time that really you can hand out paper aeroplanes is if the final score was 9-11. But you'd have to know that beforehand. Maybe you could hand them out at the end. Okay, Scotland. Hang on, Declan Rice at left back. Is that what you were saying?
What Tuchel
It's a
did
bold
is...
one. It's a bold one. Yeah. Okay, Scotland 0, Greece 3. A win for the greasy Greeks.
Indeed. And look, Greece really put Scotland, I'm not going to say to the sword. I'm going to go Greek here. No, I'm not. I'm going to say, wait for this.
Why I love you.
Put Scotland. They put Scotland to the skewer. Look, let's be honest. Scotland have overachieved, and let's be honest. Scotland is hilly. It's not got as good a climate as Greece. Drier pitches, and unlike England, Scotland's poor, isn't it? So they probably don't have the facilities to overcome that climate. And I'm afraid it's back to reality. And the manager, whose name escapes me, but does remind me of that kind of dour other Scot, the snooker player, Mitchell. What's his name?
Graham Dott.
Not Graham Dott, no.
Stephen Maguire.
Maguire, that's it. Yeah, he's got that same sort of, he sort of slept on the sofa, and his kids are getting ready for school, negotiating the cans of tenants on the floor, and he hears his lads say, "You're not my real dad," and that's really been Steve Clarke's story as Scotland's boss. He's in and out of fashion like a mullet, and right now his popularity is once again on the floor.
I'm gonna have to have a beat of block. Okay. Now, I think that's it from this this weekend of football. I will just, on a personal note, I do want to say thanks to you, because you have been there. You've really been there this week. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people have pissed me off, a lot of them, and I don't want to say it's getting to me, but it's getting to me it's getting to me, and knowing that I have sorry, I'm up and down. Okay.
If I may, advise you on something. Lionade, they're sending you cans by the crate, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think that's your starting point right there.
Right. It tastes, I don't know. It's anyway. It doesn't. We can talk about this later. Something to bring to the next therapy session. Sometimes I get there and I'm like, well, I've got nothing to talk about. At least I can. I've got a list of twats, and I will be seeking revenge. Okay, so that was the football from last weekend. Thanks everyone for listening. Do remember to subscribe to the Facebook, and give us a 5-star review. And yeah, thanks for listening, and thank you too, Martin, because I don't. Yeah, thanks. Right, I'm gonna have to go and have a cold bath.
Hold on, who's supposed to press the music at this point?
Hang on,
am I in charge?
No.
Right. I have been pressing the buttons so far.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're in charge.